earlier when they tried to tower dive a Cho'Gath. It all kind of backfired. Apart from that, they actually played well. So I think this game is going to be a lot closer. I don't think they're going to give Misfits the same kind of advantage in the draft phase.
Well, certainly won't be tunneling on the funnel, at least don't think they will after what we saw yesterday. But what Misfits are tunneling on is trying to make sure they get Exile off of Comfort Zone.
Yeah.
They've got the Yasuo removed, of course, the Vlad, as you mentioned, triple flex, that's gone as well.
Also, I think Rakan is a very good ban. He's just generally such a fantastic engage support. Still, Zoe, Irelia, no surprises. Taric is still open in case we can finally get a Taric Master Yi in Europe. Also looking at Talia being available in this draft here, with Morgana being the last one. So there's still a couple of the traditional power picks left open.
All right, taking their time here. It's that Talia should be in the jungle position once more, locked in for Max Lore.
All right, Unicorns, show me the Taric Master Yi. And I want Exile on Master
That
Yi.
would be bold. That would be very bold if they decide to take that on the first 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu is also such a good pick now. We have seen so many teams find success with the champion already.
Including Senkooks.
Sure.
I mean, everyone's wanting to talk up what Hansama did yesterday, but the Lulu
it's
that
not
Senkooks
Taric
did was good.
Master Yi.
It's not Taric Master yet.
Yet.
We got Lulu.
That's true. They can still go Taric here if they want to.
It's just going
That's
to be the
not
long
Taric.
con. That is definitely not Taric. That's,
Unless
that's
he changed a lot. Okay, interesting. Alistar blind picked here. It is one of the comfort picks for Unicorns of Love. They love to make plays around bottom side with Taric. And they're obviously telling us instantly that they are looking to try and play around the bot lane with some engage coming in from an Alistar.
All right, well, let's see what Misfits are going to answer with. These guys have been taking a little more time, but what was left up this time is going to be the Mundo. This guy, well, he's always been hard to kill, but he's especially hard to kill these days, and there's a reason people have been banning him away.
And Alfari took him last game, and the goal is just to try and play 1v1 for as long as possible as the Mundo, and you basically become unkillable because of your late game scaling.
And you kill people.
Yeah, it's true. They've
Put
not
a
shown us
W,
anything bot lane yet, but Varus is one of those picks that I feel like should be good right now, but I'm very biased because I've always really liked Varus. I tried to make him a thing doing MSI, and most teams did not agree with me. But
well, Misfits clearly do.
There we go, we get it. So this is one of the picks where Rageblade is, of course, still fantastic on him. Strong laning phase, and you still have that setup with his ulti. So I think Varus is a good pick in the meta. Always a little bit concerned when I see Varus against things like Alistar, because you don't have mobility. Alistar can engage onto you. So I think Unicorns of Love have the tools to play around bottom side here and try and shut down Hansama.
And they've got a Camille as well. We saw how scary that could be. Clearly, Unicorns were watching what Misfits were bringing out yesterday.
And most likely Cole gets the Camille. He is one of the star players on this lineup, so I like it from Unicorns of Love. I think still the Alistar is the question mark, but Lulu Camille we want to see every day, because that is such a strong combination.
A lot of communication going back and forth between the Unicorns players. Sheepy there. Looks like the Zyra's banned away. I know, we've been wondering when this champion's going to appear. It's banned by the Unicorns.
That could have been a good combo though. Zyra plus Varus is effectively instant kill at level 6.
I mean, you do not want to lane against that.
So smart ban here. Will Misfits ban away some bot laners against Samax? He's one of the guys I'm expecting to mainly play AD carries. It's always kind of been his strength, unless we look back at 2013 when he was a top laner.
Yeah,
actually.
well, I mean, again, you know, you were LCS back then.
I know, a long time ago.
What would you expect him to pick up in this case? Like a lot of the traditional AD carries, there's still a lot of them available,
there's
actually.
plenty. There's Lucian. He can go for something he's played a lot in the past. Kalista is something Unicorns Love played as well. There is an Alistar already to pair it with, so there's definitely options for Samax if you want to stick to traditional AD carries. Tahm Kench ban also because they have the Alistar to try and make plays on the Varus. So Unicorns of Love, it makes a lot of sense what they're banning here to try and deny Mickey and his different supports.
Try and shut down the Hansam a little easier as well. So Misfits, they have really been taking their time. The Moose definitely trying to make sure his team is 100% on that same page. Last ban's going to be the Ezreal.
I was thinking Aatrox could also be an option for White Knight. We've seen it already picked against Mundo a few times, where you just have two very, very strong 1v1 champions.
Right, he played it too.
He also played it already, so it is available here if they want to save AD carry or bot lane choice for last, but they could just grab whatever they want here.
Oh, whatever they want is definitely what they could be grabbing. We saw this one banned away last time, down to the wire. Are they mad enough to do it? Here comes the Darius for White Knight.
It's been a pick we've seen a lot in other regions, and I really like it. I think you get a lot of scrappy skirmishes and fights where Darius can do so well, and he's really good against tanks because they can't really kill him, and he actually, once he gets full stacks, is a massive threat against basically anyone. Obviously the bleed passive I'm referring to here on the side of Darius, so Unicorns of Love Looking fine so far. That's a Gragas coming in. That's Mickey's Gragas.
That is a Mickey support Gragas.
Oh, he's played so much Gragas in the past. He always wants Gragas to be meta. He's smiling because we know it's the Gragas.
And
that's Aurelion Soul.
It's
I love
a
it.
Senkook special in the mid lane. Aurelion Soul comes out. So Misfits finding a way to bend the meta to their will.
You're playing against Talia Aurelion Soul. Like, that is double roaming champs coming from the middle lane towards either bot or top lane. And if it's bot lane, that's a Gragas setting up the place with Varus ult. Man, this Misfits comp can set up plays inside lanes so well. Looks to be a Ryze bot lane for Samex. Okay. Slightly concerned, just due to the fact that there is 2 roaming champions and a Gragas, and Ryze, while he does a fine push early on, you can punish him. He takes time to scale. We have to remember that.
We got some time on the board, but the way things are looking right now, it looks like they actually might want to send Exile onto the Ryze. And
I've gotten so used to Ryze being the bot lane, I just automatically went like, oh,
it's the same thing with the me and the Vladimir, man. But yeah, it looks like Unicorns are going to go with that. So Exile, this is one of his comfortable champions.
It is, and clearly a matchup he wants to play against the Aurelion. So if it stays, and it seems to stay right now, that makes me just even more concerned for the bottom lane, because this Lulu, early game, when you get roamed on, like, if you get shut down, there's really no comeback mechanic for you in the laning phase, because you don't have the damage as Lulu Alistar at level 6 to kill the enemy bot lane. You just try and stay alive.
So if the bot lane is just trying to stay alive, what are the rest of Unicorns going to try to do with this comp?
They have to get Darius and Ryze ahead with this. The bottom lane is supports. That's what they bring there. Totoro, of course, wants to roam and be strong in teamfights, but you have a Camille, good early ganks, good early skirmish, especially if you get onto a Talia, and then you have the Ryze and the Darius that are your 2 massive damage deals on Unicorn's side.
Yeah.
But Misfits, it's just so much roaming and so much CC bot lane. Alfari, yeah, they can go up there if he's already ready to fight it, but generally, bot lane is where you can set up a lot more plays.
We'll find out who's going to reign supreme here. Unicorns of Love, they need to bounce back. A little bit of an unconventional comp, as anything can be conventional on the 8.11 meta. We'll find out if Misfits can shut them down and go 2 for 0, 2-0 on week number 1. We're loading up onto Summoner's Rift. Let's kick things off.
Get to see if Samus can play Lulu. I've seen a lot of AD carries already pick it, and they did not look good on the champion. Also referring to Bang here from SKT, being one of them.
Yeah, that's
that was rough.
I don't like to think about that one. The Mighty have certainly fallen. I think Samus is happy he's able to play, though. Remember, there was some worrying reports that he wasn't going to be well enough to play to start off the split, and I'm glad to see him, be able to actually take to it nonetheless. And
ooh, wrong Alistar skin. That's already a bad start.
Wait, oh, come on, Totoro.
That's not a good start for them.
Cowbell.
Maxlaw gets the jungle Talia. One of the picks I actually thought would be permbanned coming into this, just because her early game is so strong, and the damage she can deal onto single targets being so effective. And she can roam around a lot. So she's one of those picks where the moment she shows up in your lane, if you actually get knocked back at first into a full combo of a Q, you're effectively close to dead.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is, normally if there's a roaming champion, you think of Talia as like a mid laner from the past. And you kind of know when she's not in mid lane anymore. Well, if she's jungle, then she could just be anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic pick. Obviously, most teams will agree. Senkook's early push here, not too scared of level 1 Ryze. But obviously, one of the things about Ryze is always the fact that with an EW combo, keeping the Aurelion Soul in place into a gank setup is something we most likely will see in this game. Because we have to remember, the way Unicorns tend to win early games is by ganking for Exile. Go mid lane with Cold. He starts top lane, though.
All right, that's the investment. That's what we're talking about. But it has also been about trying to get White Knight ahead on this Darius. Not the player that they are usually trying to snowball, but times have changed a little bit. Speaking of Senkook's, man, he takes a lot of chunk damage from Exile.
That was a level 2 Ryze, and he was only level 1, so that was not a good trade on his side. Cole will get his Rift Guttler after looking for that first gank. And look, guys, people are warding very early, because Riot wanted to remove level 3 ganking. Instead, they got level 2 ganking. You just do your red buff.
I mean, they
start looking for something.
Accomplished. I know what you're talking about.
And there you go. Max also level 2 looking for something. We're also spotted by awards. It's almost like these guys have now gotten used to level 2 ganks.
Adaptation, that's the name of the game. Cold looks like he's trying to go in down towards the river. Going to spot out Maxlar, looking for that scuttle fight. He's going to chunk down some of its health bar, goes right back in to the range of Maxlor. You're getting excited, Officio. Talk to me.
Well, just to say Cold already got the top one, so they're actually fighting to see if he can get a second one as well. But Maxlor will secure this one. He was on the Euphoria podcast with video now on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, and wherever you can get your podcast, those different apps will have it as well. And he talked about how, as a jungler, yeah, it really is just all about Rift Scuttlers. Like, the first ones, that's fine. You trade one each. But then the next one, if you don't get it, you just basically tell your team, guys, carry me. I'm behind. I'm out of the game for now.
It's an easy way to tell if you're doing well or not. I like simple metrics. I think it's a good time.
A little bit too snowbally for certain junglers. I think that is a fair critique. But Unicorns Love on their side had a good early game yesterday. They actually got a bunch of kills against Schalke. And we were looking at a Unicorns Love win until sadly the poor decisions towards the late game happened.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, it does seem kind of like Unicorns, they know what they want to do, but when push comes to shove, when a tense situation happens, they seem to fall apart a little bit. Like, we saw some panic pushing. They were trying to shove out some lanes.
I think they want too much.
Yeah.
They're greedy.
They want it all.
They're greedy in the way they're calling in the late game, especially based on yesterday with the Cho'Gath tower dive and then the 1v1 setup at the end. And that just gets punished in a lot of games, and you end up losing despite actually looking fine for most of it.
Speaking of a guy that can punish you too, we got to talk about Hans Sama yesterday. And I know it's been discussed a little bit at length, but like, this guy just did so much work. Look at the damage percentage he was dishing. Now, admittedly, his team had, you know, some interesting different kinds of champions in it, but 46.5%?
Yeah, he had the freest Draven game of all time. He laned against Janna Rakan, who will never touch him at all, and he got early kills on it. He just snowballed out of control. It was a great game from Hans Sama. Let's see what happens around mid lane. Maxlor is here. That's the wrong way.
The wrong way, unfortunately, with Maxlor.
Guys, do not make fun of him. It's a new champion in the jungle. He's not used to playing things like Taliyah. That was not great.
You just want to get him back on Euphoria, don't you?
It's just, I know from these junglers, Joko talked about it yesterday, how weird it is to suddenly play Taliyah. And that little knockback, it's not that easy to use.
No, that's fair.
Anyway, maybe he wanted to knock him further away and just get a bit of poke damage. Let's say that's what he went for.
It's not about the kill. It's about sending a message.
He also flashed for it, so that was really not great. Exile did not have to flash.
That's fair. So, Unicorns of Love already off to a better start. Now, there's a slim gold lead here. There's just a farm advantage right now. And in all honesty, the CS kind of looks fairly even across the board, so I'm trying to see where that's actually coming from right now. Meanwhile, White Knight, he wants to roam down. Remember, this Darius, this guy wants to bully in the lane. He wants to get ahead. Cold kind of made an appearance in the lane, but didn't really do anything. So Alfari's had no pressure at all.
Man, I have to go to my screen and just rewatch that gank from Maxlor. Just
all right, you go ahead and do that. I'll talk about
stun, flash, and then he knocks him away out of his entire combo. We didn't see it, though. We didn't see anything.
There we go.
Bot lane.
There's a big old roam. You talked about this. The two roamers coming in.
Yeah, baby.
Sencooks, he's knocked under tower. Let's see if they get the kill first. It's going to be first blood. Hans Sama picking it up.
This is why I said in the pick and ban phase that I'm scared for this bot lane of Unicorns. Like, they can't fight. They can't kill stuff. They are just defensive, and it just sets up roaming opportunities. That's a flash gone. That's a kill suddenly. And Hans Sama and Mika are not even level 6 yet. It gets even worse when they also bring a Varus ulti and a Gragas knockback. This will happen 3-4 more times, and then this turret is dead, and Misfits might be really far ahead unless Unicorns can make something happen on the other side. Alfari is not getting punished in the early game. He's literally just sitting there on a Mundo.
If I had one word of advice for the Unicorns bot lane, it's wards. Everywhere.
Not gonna help you. These guys will appear over walls. Like, unless you can follow them the entire path down river and you're not pushed forward.
They need a lot of wards.
Yeah, they need a lot of wards and not to push. But easier thing is, try and make something else happen on the map so you're forcing Misfits to react to the other side. And right now, Alfari gets to push out. He's currently sitting on 59 CS. He's not been touched in this early game, and he's very happy.
Yeah, it seems like Misfits, you know, they know exactly what they want to do in this game, similar to what we saw up against Fnatic. And Unicorns, they're kind of struggling to figure out the game plan at the minute.
It's fine, it's fine. We're still early on. We got to just make some plays here. Look at this.
There we go. Totro's coming in.
What's cool? They're saying, hey, let's go topside. That's where we can do something. Don't play around.
Think you can roam? Well, unfortunately, spotted by the ward.
Still, let's see if they can do anything, at least steal away a buff. This is the reaction we just talked about. You can't sit bot lane all the time. You will die then. Make something happen on the other side, and they're doing it here. But Misfits, they want to fight them.
Looks like the net's going to be closing here. Teleport coming in. Here comes Senkux, getting the comment off. He gets yanked, dragged back in, but that is a lot of damage coming out of Talia, though. Maxlor, he's going to get chunked down. Exile, White Knight double teaming him. Looks like they're turning around for Totoro, though. Hansama's getting one in Exile. He's taking the portal out of there, but White Knight, he walks the wrong way. That's a double kill for Hansama, and it looks like Exile, he flashes a smidgen too late, and the Comet's going to take him down. Alfari, Flash Cleaver for the kill.
Misfits knew they could take the fight because they had TP on Hansama, but a massive thing happened in the bottom lane that we can show in the replay. Samax did not realize that he had to be close to Hansama to stop the TP, so he ended up reacting way too late. Hansama shows up for the fight, it's 5 versus 4, and Misfits win.
That's the thing, it's not just about the roaming, right? You've got all these teleports on all these champions. Not just the top lane anymore. Hansama, Mickey X really dishing out the damage. So now the gold lead grows 1,500, and there's pressure on turret up top. There's pressure on turret in the mid. Unicorns, they tried to make a play, but it backfired once again.
It backfired because they didn't have every single member ready to do their job. In the bottom lane here, Samax not interrupting a TP. It could have been a 4v4. Could have been a much closer fight then. Unicorns were actually looking to be proactive on the other side. Now it just ended up hurting them even more than before. Let's see the whole thing again. Look at bottom lane here. Samax has had so much time before this to actually stay near where the virus is. But no, he walked to his turret before he turned around when TP started. And that's why Hansama shows up. He gets a double kill because of it. And that was a huge turnaround for Misfits.
Absolutely disgusting, the amount of damage they're putting out. And team that stays together, plays together for sure. They're coming up pretty huge there. The Mundo damage matching what Senkux was putting out in this early game. Now, Senkux might be in some trouble as the Hextech ultimatum comes down, but with a Voice of Light is able to knock back Exile, and Cold promptly taken out by Maxlor. The 2v2 won by Misfits.
It's falling apart for Unicorns right now. I think a lot of what we're seeing is when people are playing completely new champions, then they don't have the experience of what you're supposed to do always with them. Like in this case, you're not used to seeing an AD carry just kind of TP away from you. Top laners, no. Stay around the enemy teleporter if you don't have one. So you stop his TP and he can't join either. Samax in this case didn't. That cost him. Now mid lane, another fight is about to happen and they just end up losing.
And this is pretty much what this patch and what this meta has been about, is who can adapt the fastest. I know like that does seem kind of like how it normally is, but there's just so many changes and everybody's out of their comfort zone. Right now, Misfits clearly finding that they have just the faster ability to respond, and we're going to go roaming again. Don't even need to step into that brush. Maxlor will. And here we go, chains on. It's going to lock up one, it's going to lock up two, and that Alistar, he might not be a tank at this point. Getting chunked out. Mickey X as well. Really low. Exile coming around to try to get some cleanup duty on Cold here. Looks like Misfits might have overstayed their welcome. Juggling the aggro. Hansama, Maxlor, Senkux. Is he going to fall?
Oh,
yes, he will. And it looks like Exile gets revenge.
Misfits got the turret, but at least Unicorns picked up one kill for themselves here. 1-for-1 trade. Another roam from the mid lane with Aurelion Sol and Talia. While Maxlor had a little shoved and missed early on, he still picked up 6 assists so far in the game, and Senkux also 100% kill participation.
Not such a mathematician on this one, Deficio. Is that one going to be worth that tower picked up?
Yeah, I mean, a 1-for-1 plus a turret, of course, is worth it for Misfits, even though I'm sure they would have liked to avoid Exile getting another kill on the rise, which currently seems to be the only champion that actually can get some damage down. White Knight is farming well, but he's not gotten the action he was looking for top lane.
And that's the thing, Cold kind of made really not a whole lot of attempts to get him going in the early game. Instead, he tried to show up around the mid, he tried to fight a little bit for Scuttle Crabs, but not the same level of investment that we might have expected when the Darius got locked in.
And now there's Varus, 4 kills, Rageblade completed. While the enemy dual lane is a defensive, supportive one, it's a carry dual lane from Misfits' side.
And it's Hansama.
I mean, they have a ton of engage now, a ton of damage, and Aurelion Sol will not stop roaming. Like, this can only get worse at the moment.
Looks like Mickey X is coming up too. Totoro, Samax, they know. Gonna try and back off. It looks like everybody pinging around closer to the mid lane though instead. The Misfits, they are just so fast. They go wherever they want at this point, and it's so hard for Unicorns to try and answer them. 12 minutes into this game, still very much out of the Unicorns' hands with that 3,000 plus gold advantage.
But what can they do? Let's try and look at that. We know Exile fully completed his Archangel here. He can actually deal decent damage if he gets the setup onto someone like Senkux, but it requires Cold and Totoro to get in there. Cold ult means that Senkux is not getting away, and Exile can kill him. So we're looking around mid lane especially.
There is some catch potential for sure. they're able to make it happen. It's worth pointing out, too, Cold's going to have damage. The Camille does have some.
Oh, yeah.
Has the Warrior Enchant completed now. Looks like, though, Unicorn's a little bit late to try and answer. Let's see if the fight comes in. Oh, flank around the side. That's going to be the teleport in. Alfari, the Weaver's Wall, cutting Cold off, and the rest of the team, and they're bouncing them all over the place. Totoro is going to get turned into a side of beef here in just a second. It took a little longer than Misfits might have wanted, but they pick up 2.
No TP from White Knight. It's on cooldown. Misfits knows we get a numbers advantage again, Pyra on the top side.
It's like 10 seconds away. That feels bad.
But Unicorns Aloft are getting themselves in a situation where if a team is ready to pull the trigger, they can get punished. And Misfits are showing us another very, very good early to mid game because they're constantly reacting to what's happening and just forcing the fights with 5 versus 4.
And honestly, the way Misfits have been playing, they don't need a late game because early and mid is all that's going to happen. So it looks like red buff goes the way of Cold, but still, that's just slim pickings at this point. Misfits getting everything else.
Yeah, this meta is actually a huge buff for Misfits because it has gotten easier to close out games. It's gotten easier to try and secure the early Barons and then get really far ahead. The big problem for them last split, as we highlighted before, was never the early to mid game. That's where they looked really good, and it's the same thing so far this week. Unicorns of Love are trying something on top side, but gotta remember, that's where the Lulu is at, so not really the lane you're looking to fight around. Mid lane, maybe?
I mean, I think you got to at this point. The Aurelian Soul has been quietly amassing, kills and assists as well. I mean, Senkux has been a part of every single kill that Misfits have this game.
They're trying.
Mickey, he's got to be careful. There comes the ultimatum. Maxwell is at his back, and it looks like Cold's getting shoved and stuffed around, but he flashes forward, tries to get the kill. Mickey, he's not going to live too much longer, but he did take Cold down with him, and it looks like this is not going to be done just yet. Maxlor and Hansama double timing for a double kill. Samix is flashing and running, but I don't think he's going to get away from this one, continually getting hit by those stars. And Senkux just slowly chasing him down, and he picks up another.
We just talked about how the bot lane is not the lane you want to play around if you're Unicorns here. You don't have any damage with your Lulu Alistar versus this Varus that is so fed. And Maxwell was already up there, so a lot of kills again for Misfits. White Knight is trying bottom lane.
He's getting a little angry, but I don't know if Alfari is going to fall down. Just holding
no,
the line.
But that's where you got to respect the Darius, even as a tank, because that's where he can kill you.
Through the bleed.
Alfari to step away, but Unicorns of Love has made 3 poor choices this game. Fight around the blue buff where Samak's not ready to stop at TP. Fight around the Rift Hill where you don't have TP yourself. And then go towards top lane where there's a fat Varus and you die again.
I see mistake number 4 here. White Knight, although he does have 2 teleports kind of flanking him up. There's the Voice of Light coming up a little early. White Knight getting chunked down. But it looks like Misfits, they don't want this fight.
This could be big, though.
Out by Cold. Let's see if the Unicorns can find a little bit of that magic. They do. Taking down Senkux. That's going to be crucial. Picked up by White Knight. Misfits are out of there, though.
1 kill here for Unicorns of Love. Had to use double teleport to secure it. But they did manage to take down Senkux. So at least a kill for the team. But as we highlighted here, 2 big cooldowns used for it.
Slows things down just a bit, but Misfits, make no mistake, they are very far out in the lead. You look at this gold differential, and it's almost as big as it was versus Fnatic. Now, in Spring Split, I wouldn't have thought I would have said that, but the times, they are a-changing.
They are looking very good to start off the Summer Split. The team that talks about redemption, talks about being so disappointed with not making playoffs the last split. And funny enough, the team that, even when they kept losing last split, so one team where all the pro teams said, no, these guys are good. These guys in scrims are good. But on stage, it just looked so inconsistent, so bad. Typically, when they had to close out games, not so far. They have to still show they can actually do that in this one, but they're really far ahead.
Yeah, we've got a long split ahead of us, but things are definitely looking good for the Misfits. So this is a team looking for redemption, as they said. It's certainly off to a good start. Well, not against 2 slouching teams either. I mean, Unicorns have had a lot of struggles, but as you pointed out, other than the mistakes, they actually have been showing us some good plays. It just seems like they don't exactly know the direction they want to go. And Exile, speaking of directions, he's trying to make a great escape of his own. Gonna get stunned up and stopped on the portal. Hansama coming through. Is this going to be a feed the Hans?
Let's see who gets it. Everyone wants to kill here.
Even Maxlor's coming.
Maxlor, he's greedy. He wants it.
All right, who's going to get this one? Anybody's guess at this point.
Oh, he missed it. Senkux. Didn't even get an assist.
Wow, Maxlor. Better luck next time.
Senkux gets it though. They get a Cloud Drake as well. There's nothing on the top side for Misfits to grab. Safari's not even there. He's sitting mid lane right now. 3 turns to 0. Everyone from Unicorns pushed far, far back on the map.
Yeah. Yeah, it is early on, but this is rough still for Unicorns right now. It's such a massive gold advantage. Misfits continuing to push that here as Han Sama, just with a couple of minions, is taking down this tower. Look at this guy. 7-0.
He can auto attack.
Level 11, Rage Blade, all the works. And even if they catch him, he's got the stopwatch insurance policy.
Fatty 400 gold right there for Han Sama. White Knight trying to get something on the other side. He should be able to secure the first turret for Unicorns of Love. Trying to hold on to whatever he can get at this point in the game.
I like what they were trying to do with the Darius, but there just wasn't enough attention paid up towards that top side early on. And as you pointed out, the bottom lane wasn't ever really going to be able to do that much.
It was hard to really execute their comp early, based around the fact they had a defensive bottom lane, had a Ryze mid who's a fine 1v1 champion, but still takes time to scale a bit. And they were against double roaming, Talia plus Aurelion Sol, so I feel like all their productivity was just on Misfits, and they abused it.
Yeah. I give credit to the Moose as well. I mean, this is a man that's well known for drafting frustrating compositions for the opposition to deal with.
And he now has the greatest coach name.
He does.
Of all time.
I'm really happy he changed his name.
Like, I've tried to make him change the name for a year. And he wanted to do it last split, but he was not allowed, like in the middle of a split, to do it.
Oh.
You can't just change names in the middle of a split.
Oh, really?
That's
okay.
kind of weird.
You gotta wait between splits.
Yes, exactly. And then
I see, it makes sense.
he got it confirmed. Like, we can't tomorrow suddenly have Exile changing name. That'd just be weird.
What would he change his name to?
I have no clue, but now he's gonna fight.
For Alfari. Okay, here goes Cold. Weaver's Wall coming down. Let's see if they've got the damage. And Alfari, he's chunked low, but he's still a Mundo, and the cavalry has arrived. White Knight will start by picking up the first kill. Is this Unicorns affecting the turnaround? It is messy. It is chaotic. Samix is going to fall, though, on the back, and it looks like Misfits, they just have a little more in the tank, respecting the damage of White Knight and deleting everyone. Han Sama's got 2. Let's see if he can make it a 3. Senkooks, Maxlore. I've seen this movie before, Deficio, and it does not end happily for Exile. Double kill going the way of Senkooks.
That's a 19-minute ace for Misfits. Looked like an okay fight at first for Unicorns of Love, killing Alfari. We get the replay instantly, so a lot of members jumping onto the Mundo. Even the Ryze joining in, and they actually do take him down in time. But the problem now is, this Varus is going to get full stacks on the Rage Plate and just sit there and hammer away while the rest of Misfits can also secure the kills.
Also, Samix was really isolated from the rest of the team, and that was such a crucial Gragas ultimate to separate up some of the heavier damage dealers, let the tanks kind of get worn down a little bit, and then, yeah, Exile, good night, buddy.
It's the second game in a row where Han Sama gets the kills, but we gotta still highlight Senkooks. Like, what a difference.
Look at the damage.
In this game here, like, he was dealing more damage in that fight, and while, yeah, it was a full stack Rage Plate, he was sitting just hitting constantly with the W, on Aurelion Sol. He's been part of so many kills in this game here, and now it's Baron for Misfits.
This one's a little bit riskier, though, because Cold, he could still come in. Interrupted, there's the belly bot from Mickey. He might be sacrificed, and he will. Exile picks up the kill. The rest of Misfits have to scatter. Cleaver comes out, stops on Totoro as the TP from White Knight completes. Totoro comes in, gets the combo. Do the Unicorns have enough to take down Han Sama? That is a massive stopwatch, and what a turnaround! Triple kill from Maxlore, and they're gonna clean house here. That's a double for the Mundo. Misfits baited and outsmarted.
Yo, they thought they had the kills there, but they all walk together as a group. And then from one side, it's Maxlore and Talia knocking them back. And on the other side, it's Senkooks on Aurelion Sol just sitting and dealing damage. So much DPS landing onto Unicorns, and they are too far behind to survive that.
I cannot believe it. Misfits, they turned that one all the way up to 11.
Revenge for Maxlore as well, landing that knockback.
That was sick. And he well deserved on the Talia kills as well.
Yeah, I really need to see that one again. But also let's highlight the fact
That's gonna be a highlight play.
Misfits denied Cold getting into the Baron pit.
Mickey did his job.
We have not seen a Baron steal yet in the EU LCS. Here he denies entrance, so they get the Baron. That's a great setup. Okay, they lose the support. Who cares? He's out. Let's follow. 5 members of Unicorns. Maxlore moves around the corner. He's near the blue buff. Onto Han Sama. Stopwatch comes in, and then look, damage into a knockback. Senkooks lands a lot of DPS there the moment the fight starts.
See, we talked a lot about the roaming and the potential that this like Talia Aurelion Sol combo has to affect big plays around the map. But how about that AoE damage? And Maxlore, he is a happy man after that play.
Even as a soul stealer, man.
Oh yeah.
Was buffed,
I mean,
by the
look,
way.
you got 10 stacks on your Dark Steel. Like, you got nothing left to do. Let's go read a book instead.
Remember, it gives you the movement speed already on 10 stacks now.
That's true.
There was a fancy little Soul Stealer buff, so he actually has the 10% bonus movement speed right now.
All right, Misfits looking to use that bonus speed to march right into the base of the Unicorns of Love. Last-ditch effort. Alfari on the front line taking it up. That tower got so many holes, it's going to be looking like Swiss cheese in just a second. And Darius goes for the dunk, but he gets knocked right back. And the rest of the Unicorns going to fall. All opposition in the face of Misfits. They're laughing that one off. It is going to be GG. Good night. I think we got a candidate for new fastest game. 23 minutes to Fischio. Misfits cleaning up and crushing the Unicorns of Love.
I expected Unicorn to show more in the early game from what we saw yesterday as well, but effectively everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for this team. They were against double roaming from the mid lane, and we said this during the cast, like, there are 3 very big moments where Unicorns of Love allow Misfits to just set up perfect plays. The top lane fight around blue buff, the Rift Herald fight, like all moments that could have been avoided if the entire team were on the same page and ready. They weren't. And Misfits are showing us another game of productivity, aggressive plays, and Senkooks. He's looking good this split so far.
Not to mention clean, too. I know you want to talk about your boy Senkooks, but here's something for you. Hans Sama hasn't died yet.
That's also great.
That stopwatch was sick, man. I mean, yes, he pushed the button, but he did it at the right time.
It's true. Overall, 2-0 start for a team that was hard to rate going into the split because they had the same players that failed last split. But they looked good last split in 25 minutes and then terrible for the remaining of each game.
So the easy solution is get rid of the rest of the game.
Aha! Just keep winning games around 25 minutes
yeah.
and then your style works because no one will argue that they weren't good in the early game.
And I think if the meta does change and we start seeing longer game times, like maybe that's where we have to ask ourselves the question. But Misfits are off to a 2-0 start, and it doesn't get that much cleaner.
Yeah, it is true. And they didn't make any roster changes to the starting roster, like some of the other teams.
There was a lot of critique around that. A lot of people were saying, like, you know,
there were question marks.
Hey, Senkooks is still in this lineup. Well, he's one of the big heroes of this game.
I want to highlight how many members actually on stage after Misfits win. I think there's almost 10 people up there now. Because behind the scene, they made changes.
They added a lot of people.
Jess is joined as both a sub and a strategic coach. They have 2 new young subs as well, one for jungle, one for mid lane. And they also have added more assistant coaches coming in. We've already seen a couple of them up there. So it's a huge infrastructure investment instead of replacing starting members. And so far the meta fits them, and the team is playing fast and fun.
Having a little bit of a chat with the Vitality guys who are going on next. Speaking of winning fast, I cannot wait for those 2 teams to match up. That is going to be awesome.
And what happens when both teams are really good at playing early game and fast and they crash into each other?
I think we get a lot of action.
We probably do.
I think so.
I think we got a lot of action this game as well.
We did. That's very true. I mean, it did seem fairly one-sided for a little bit. Unfortunately, Unicorns just making those mistakes, falling down. Now, remember, you guys at home are deciding our play of the game, so head over to @LOL Esports on Twitter. Give us your votes. Your choices, of course, are Maxlore, Senkooks, and Hans Sama. That's actually a hard one.
Yeah.
There were so many good plays from all of them.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going either Senkooks or Maxlore here.
Okay.
And some was good, but I feel
He was
like
cleanup. He was, I'll be honest,
a lot
he was
of
cleanup.
times.
As an AD carry player, I recognize that he cleaned up really well, but he did. Now, after the break, you're going to go ahead and find out what kind of tricks Attila has up his sleeves for Vitality versus Giants. We're also going to hear from Maxlore, so don't you go anywhere. And that's going to be closing here. Teleport coming in. Here comes Senkooks. Get the combat off. He gets yanked dragged back in, but that is a lot of damage coming out of Talia, though. Maxlore, he's going to get chunked down. Exile, White Knight double teaming him. Looks like they're turning around for Totoro, though. Hans Sama's getting one, and Exile, he's taking the portal out of there. But White Knight, he walks the wrong way. That's a double kill for Hans Sama.
Giants needs help.
I think we can fight. Yeah, we can move. Right, move. There. I'm coming.
Ulti.
Fight it. Get the plant. Rise is no flash. Good job.
I can flash.
I don't have ulti.
To kill, the rest of Misfits have to scatter. Cleaver comes out, stops on Totoro as the TP from White Knight completes. Totoro comes in, gets the combo. Do the Unicorns have enough to take down Hans Sama? That is a massive stopwatch! And what a turnaround! Triple kill from Maxlore!
Nice! No, you fucking wanker!
Okay, plus wait.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take the red.
I can TP in. Good job, guys.
I'm going top.
It is going to be GG. Good night. I think we got a candidate for new fastest game. 23 minutes to Fischio. Misfits clean.